What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be looking at another fix and flip we have going on today. We're going to be breaking down the deal, where did it come from, and the numbers behind it. So stay tuned to the end of the video. We'll actually be breaking down how much money we're making on this deal. Let's go check it out. Yo, so guys, look, this ugly house came to us from a cold call. So one of our VAs from the Philippines actually called this homeowner, and it's just like every other deal in this channel. You can find the call recording link below on this video. This person was actually high equity, but we got this deal. What's unique about this one is from our batch driven app. So this was a driving for dollar property. We had one of our VAs in the Philippines from their computer using the batch driven app, going street by street, found this ugly house. We skip traced the homeowner. We gave them a call, and lo and behold, this is a guy who was interested in selling. He was ready to start a new chapter in his life. Got on the phone with him and we closed it. We locked this one up. So this was something that we wanted to take down internally. We ended up contracting it at a price to where we were still able to assign it to ourselves, where we can make some money for the wholesaling company. As you guys have probably known by now, that's like one of our biggest secrets. We love buying the deals and assigning them to ourselves so we can pay our sales team and the wholesale company. And then in our fix and flip entity, we're building up enough money there, so if we ever needed some extra cash to do anything that comes up during the renovation, it's already built into the deal. So again, this came from a cold call. I met the homeowner. He's had this property for a while. He's been wanting to do renovations, but he never got around to it like most people, and he was ready to move on. He wanted a price to where I knew we couldn't quite pay for it. We needed to do some negotiating. This is a really key point for this deal. When I was talking to the homeowner, before I even met with him, I wanted to see what he was hoping to do. What was his end goal? So this guy was ready. He had a house up north. He wanted to take the money here and put it into that one and get out of this place. So I met with him. He wanted $250,000 for this house. I'm like, yo, this probably needs a lot of work. That's not a deal. But I didn't combat him on his number. I was never like, oh my gosh, that's way too much, Mr. Seller. We can never pay that. Instead, I focused on how much money did he want to take away from this property, from the sale, to do what he wanted to do. So I already had a background of like, okay, now I know he wants to do this, this, and this. How much money is that going to cost? And by working with him and working backwards, instead of using some arbitrary number, 250,000, we instead found out that he wanted to walk away with $65,000. So $65,000 minus his mortgage, by the time you add those two numbers together, it wasn't $250,000. It was actually $215,000. Right? So I negotiated $35,000 off the purchase price of this home, build that into our fix and flip because I knew we were gonna need the money because it needed a bunch of work, and he still got the cash that he needed. So guys, don't focus on the price, focus on the problem. So you guys can see like this property needs a bunch of work. This used to be a kitchen, but it was super duper dated and it was very unfunctional, especially for 2021 standards. So our team ripped this whole thing out. They're opening this up here. Obviously we gotta paint it. We're midway through the project. We got to put some floors in. We had a water leak. They're fixing that, putting a new roof on the property. So this is a pretty large project based on the size of the house. As you guys can see, it's old. This place is super duper old. Like we got blue paint, purple paint, orange paint, block. They converted this Arizona room into an actual living square footage, which is awesome. But like the floors didn't match. It's different graded. So like this turns into a project where to get top dollar on this property is probably in the mid 400s. To get to that price, there's a good amount of work that needs to be done. So that's why we needed it pretty cheap. We can do it. We can still make sense of it. This is about an $80,000 project. Again, if you guys stick to the end of the video, we'll break it down on the whiteboard as we've done before. But let's just check this stuff out. We head out back. We have the pool. The pool green needs to be resurfaced, needs a new pool pump, needs the whole thing. And when I first came to view this property, there was like two big ass ducks that I was terrified of because he's like, hey, you wanna head outside? And I'm like, I've never seen ducks like this before in my life. But luckily he took those with him. We didn't have to deal with them. If you see, like the fascia boards need to be painted, exterior painted, new resurfacing the pool, the pump. Like everything basically needs to be replaced at this place. But this is such a great location here in Phoenix that we know once we do the work we need to do and get this to 2021 standards, it's gonna freaking fly, especially with the pool. So guys, our team is actually like not lying to you. They're doing the work today, right now. So I think this is the coolest part of this whole thing. So we're midway through the project. Property needs a bunch of work. It was funny because I always love to see like what the seller tries to do in some of these places. Like this thing right here is like, oh, this is custom painted by myself. I spent a lot of time here. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, that's gorgeous. no way, how did you do that, right? But like, these are the stories that you get when you meet homeowners like this. Again, we market to a situation. There's a certain type of person, you guys watch this, you know what I'm talking about. There's a certain type of person that will sell their property at a discount, and that's what we ran into here. So guys, everything else, you'll see, it needs complete facelift. It needs everything. But we look at this as like every single little problem the seller had is money signs. Every single issue the property has is money signs. This is how we make a profit in this business. Let's head back to the office. Let's break this deal down so you guys can see what we're actually gonna make on it. All right, guys, let's look at this deal. We're back in the office. You actually got to see us walk through that house. Crazy how much renovation needed to happen. When I walked in, the smell alone almost knocked me out. So, but it's actually much better when we went to visit it. But let's look at the numbers behind it and why we decided that this would be a good candidate for a fix and flip, not just because it's in Phoenix, because the numbers just made sense. So after I negotiated, I'm gonna write the address here. The address is Royal Palm, okay? After I negotiated the purchase price, we ended up being all in on this deal. So our buy price, okay, our buy price on this deal was $217,000, okay? This is a huge project, okay? Normally, when you get yourself an off-market deal, the bigger the project, the steeper the investors are going to want to buy it at. So I knew that since I got this project, I mean, this deal at a really good price, it needed a ton of work. And I've been in this game before where, hey, I'm gonna have to sell you on, look at the potential here. You can open up this floor and it would be great and you can sell it for this much. Investors like, great, I want an even better deal. I want an even better deal. So what I love about having the unfair advantage of being able to take down properties, and you guys should get the same, is that we can make more money on the deal because I already know what it could be, right? If I can take down the property and not have to sell someone on the dream, that's the ideal situation, right? So the buy price was $217. The repairs on this property is gonna be around 80 grand. Okay, to get the property to, you know, knock out the kitchen, redo the kitchen to something that would fit the right price point where we're going for, resurface the pool, do all the work that was necessary, clean it up, paint, carpet, all the things, and get it up to standard is gonna be about 80K. If our buy price is at 217, repairs are at 80 grand, and so that means we're all in this deal at about 297. By the time that we add in our holding costs, I'm just gonna write holding cost here. Our holding costs for holding this at an $80,000 project, it's gonna be about at least 2.5 months to do this whole entire thing, possibly 3. We know we're probably gonna hold the money by the time we buy it, do the work, resell it, probably gonna hold this for around 4 months. So at 300,000, our holding costs on that kind of money, because again, guys, we do these deals with none of our own money. We don't do these deals with our own money. Never, ever, ever. It's either hard money or private money, always. So hard money or private money, let's just say we get it for about 10 or 11%. At that rate, we're gonna end up spending about 12 grand in holding costs. So 12 grand in just paying for the money. So this is the reason why you wanna do your projects quick. You wanna get it back on the market so they can sell, so you're not holding the money for a crazy amount of time. But by the time you add all these things up, you're looking at, what is that, 297, 299, so that's about 309. And by the time we go to resell this deal, guys, I know the ARV on this property is 440,000. So I'm all in at 309, ARV is 440. By the time I pay commissions, that's gonna be what, 12, 13.2, that's gonna be around 16 grand by the time I pay commissions and a listing agent. Let's just call it 18. So let's subtract 18 grand here. So we're left with 422. So 422,000 would be net to us minus whatever we're in the deal for. So if we're in at 309 and we could sell it for 422, our potential net, that's just right over here on this deal, which is net profit, is gonna be around 100, so about 113,000 on this particular property. So that's potential net profit over $100,000 by being able to do the project ourselves. Now, if I'm a wholesaler and I can't take this property down on my own, if I was to get offers on this deal, like offers were coming in around $235,000. Great, I made 13 grand, I made 18 grand, but if you guys can find a way to start taking down these properties and doing your projects, you're the difference of making a quick 10, 15 to, hey, in 4 months, 113. That's a crazy big difference. Wouldn't you want to make an extra $100,000 on a deal rather than taking the 13 and run? This is where the money's made, and this is the idea behind wholesaling. Wholesaling will create that quick cash, will create the revenue for your company to grow, but the sooner you can move to something like this, especially in today's market, the more money you're gonna make on your deals. So I implore you guys, please, please, please underwrite your deals with the potential of, what would this look like if I fix and flip, right? And maybe you're not in a position where you can flip quite yet, and that's okay. You know what you go do? You go say, hey, I got a deal. Let me go find a fix and flipper who's willing to partner with me. I bring the opportunity and we can split the profit. So instead of me making 13 grand right here, I bring the deal to the table. We split 113. And so instead of taking that quick cash, I'm gonna freaking make, what is that, 65, 66? So about $66,000 on a deal where I didn't even do the flip myself. I had a partner to do it. You're bringing real value to someone. They're gonna make good money on the deal, and you're gonna make 5x what you would on a wholesale. So guys, be creative when you're looking at deals and think about how can you maximize the profit on every single one of your opportunities. That's the deal breakdown for Royal Palm. Guys, thanks for coming and hanging out. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.